Well, it looks to be a beautiful week of weather, and those craving a little jazz al fresco, the garden at St. John's Cathedral has got you covered. Here to discuss the upcoming outdoor concert series is Dr. Marc Dickman, professor and founding member of the Jazz Studies program at the University of North Florida. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Very well. Glad to have you here. So, the North Florida Jazz Quartet is really one of the premier professional jazz combos that are in this area, in this region, in the state. How did it come together?
Well, part of it's my activities as an educator and a musician, and being invited by the cathedral to form a group and play. And again, we played other places, but the series at the cathedral is one of our main ones.
So that invitation kind of helped solidify the quartet and the direction that it took.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have been at UNF, as we said, you helped found the Jazz Studies program there. You've been there almost 40 years. But the music that you play is both traditional and influenced by a lot of other cultures. Tell us a little bit about the style that you pursue.
Well, it's pretty eclectic under the umbrella of jazz. There's a lot of various influences. In fact, Duke Ellington mentioned something called the Spanish tinge back in the 30s, so that's in there. And so we do a variety of what we call straight ahead swing, and then we'll have a tune we'll have a bossa nova and a samba and like a rock type feel. So it's pretty eclectic.
And you play a number of instruments yourself, including the euphonium?
Yeah, euphonium, also known as sometimes baritone horn or tenor tuba.
Uh-huh.
And then I also play the regular slide trombone, and I have a valve trombone too I bring along with me. And that actually gets more questions. Less people have seen a valve trombone than anything, so they're always curious about it.
That looks different than a regular one?
Yeah, it looks odd.
Yeah. And so what is the quartet made up of from an instrument standpoint?
It's the group that's playing on Friday is going to be piano with Evan Anderson, a bass, Ricky Ravello, and Jack Miller on drums.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all associated UNF graduates
And
from the Jazz Studies program.
oh, is that right?
And the people that are backing up, that'll rotate occasionally. So it's I rotate in and out. Sometimes I'll have guitar instead of piano, for example.
And this setting, as we said, the Jazz in the Garden environment is really just this kind of beautiful open air space for people to perform in. This is a great week for it, but it's also kind of like a after work opportunity to relax. There's wine. There's
food, gourmet food. I'm just knocked out at what they have there, and but the courtyard itself kind of runs east west, and we play kind of in one corner, and then they have a big food set up on the other side, and it's really quite nice, and the crowds have been very healthy.
Very receptive, yeah. So can you give us a little sneak peek of what your set list might look like? What are people going to be hearing this week?
Gosh, I was hoping you wouldn't put me on the spot like that. But part of it is going to be called songs out of the Great American Songbook, like maybe There'll Never Be Another You, Take the A Train, and it also gives me the opportunity and the reason to learn some new tunes.
Okay.
And one that I'm going to add is one called Samba de Orfeo. And it just happens that one of my colleagues at UNF showed the movie Black Orpheus just this last Wednesday. And I said, that's odd because I just started learning it's a theme song from that movie. So it's pretty nice.
The jazz program is very, acclaimed at UNF. Recently lost one of its kind of foundational folk there, Bunky Green, who had been, a big part of that program.
Yeah, he was a dear friend and colleague, and just special. They, talked about how he always had that twinkle in his eye, and the jazz is serious, music's serious, but we can't take it too seriously. And again, he was very funny to be around, and we would get them to laugh, and he'd get us to laugh, and he was just a great person.
Yeah, I know he'll be missed, I'm sure, especially by you. Well, the event is Jazz in the Garden. It's Friday, March 21st. And so this goes basically from like 5:30 to 7. Is it music the entire time?
Yeah, we'd take a short break in the middle, little short break, but yeah, the
Okay.
music's there the whole time.
256 East Church Street. And I think a $10 suggested donation. Dr. Marc Dickman, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks for having me. Have a
All
good
right.
week.
All right.